Hey everyone, welcome to Up All Night DIY. I'm Monica. Thanks for joining me. Today is the 4th Friday Challenge, hosted by Sarah of Juju B DIY and Lisa of Our Grey House. This month, it's all about the Irish. Let's get into it. For my first project, I used my scroll saw and cut a simple shamrock shape out of 1/2-inch sanded plywood, and with Mod Podge, I'll cover it with this green and white striped scrapbook paper. I traced this shamrock onto the paper and cut it out. Before I decoupage, I'll paint the edges with Americana Festive green. Once the paint is dried, I'll coat both the wood and the paper with Mod Podge. I'll line it up and use my brayer to make sure it's well adhered. Some of the edges have lifted a wee bit, so I'll add more Mod Podge, then I'll give the entire surface a coat of Mod Podge too. While that's drying, I'll do 2 coats of white acrylic paint on my 4-inch wood round. I've cut a number 17 stencil with my silhouette. I'll place that on my round, and with the cosmetic sponge, I'll pound some Mod Podge over top of the number 17. This will keep the paint from seeping under the vinyl, preventing any bleeding. Then, I'll pounce on some charcoal paint. And ta-da! I'll use that cosmetic sponge to add some distressing to the edge, give it an enamel effect, kinda. While I'm at it, I'll do the same to the shamrock. Now that the edges are done, I'll dry brush some distressing onto the surface of the shamrock. I just stroke my brush along the edge of the stripes, grunging it up a wee bit. Using my dirty brush, I'll add a small amount of green to the white stripes as well. Not done with the grunge yet. With burnt sienna and some cinnamon, I'll add some faux rust. I'll start around the edges, brushing on the paint, then shaking on some cinnamon. I'll rub the cinnamon in with my finger into the paint, then shake off the rest. And I'll continue this all around the edges. I'll also add some faux rust spots on the surface as well. The cinnamon really adds that texture of real rust. You know how rust gets that grainy feel to it? And the cinnamon gives it a nice scent too. I'll repeat this process on the round as well. I I lightly dry brush a mixture of burnt sienna and charcoal on the face of the round to age it a bit more. With wood glue, I'll attach the round to the center of the shamrock. I drill pilot holes on both sides of the round, and I'll drill a hole at the top for the hanger. And then, strictly for aesthetics, I'll add screws to the round. With E6000, I'll place a washer over the hanger hole to add to the industrial vibe. I just need to add my hanger. I'm using a wire hanger from an old project. If you want to see how I make them, I'll put a link in the description box for it. I just push the wire through the hole, and I'll use noodle nose pliers to twist the wire around itself to close it up. And finally, I'll give it a coat of clear matte sealer spray. For my second project, I'll disassemble this wood frame. I got this frame at AC Moore before they closed. There's no glass to this frame, which is perfect for this project. Now I'll trace the backer onto some striped scrapbook paper and I'll cut it out. So, after I painted a border around the backer, I realized that it was totally unnecessary. But that's okay. No harm done. Okay, so I paint the frame with Hippo Gray. And while that dries, I'll Mod Podge the paper to the backer. And I add a top coat of Mod Podge too. This will make the paper more paintable. My wood Shamrock gets 2 coats of Festive green, and then I'll set that aside. So, just like in the last project, I'll repeat that effect on this paper. This time, I'll use Hippo Gray to line the stripes. And once again, I'll add some green, just dry brush a little bit on. I dry brush the frame with charcoal. And I dry brush around the shamrock with charcoal also. And I'll add some age to this bottle cap, also with charcoal. I'm sure you see where this is going. I'm adding some rust. First around the bottle cap, then around the shamrock. I'll repeat the process on this mending plate. This also is just for that extra touch of the industrial vibe. First with charcoal, then with burnt sienna, then cinnamon. I did this to the screws as well. Pop the backer back into the frame. I cut a vinyl center for the bottle cap. I drill pilot holes for the mending plate, and I'll screw it into place. I'm just adding a bit of charcoal paint to distress the inside of the bottle cap. I glue the Shamrock to the center of the frame, and with E6000, I'll glue the bottle cap to the Shamrock. And I'll spray it with clear matte sealer. Totally digging these projects. Love the beat up industrial edge to them. I hope you like them too. Thank you Sarah and Lisa for hosting this fun collab. Please check out their channels as well as the playlist. You'll find links in the description box as well as my supply list. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. Stay creative, my friends. Thanks for hanging with me. See you next time. Up all night with Monica.